You are sitting in a room full of people who know your name. Someone laughs, someone tells a story, phones glow on the table like small campfires, you nod at the right moments, you smile when expected. But inside, there's a strange pressure in your chest, like you're slightly underwater. The noise feels loud, but distant. You feel tired in a way sleep doesn't fix, and the thought creeps in quietly. Why do I feel alone when I'm clearly not? If you've ever felt that way, here's the twist most people miss. You aren't broken. You aren't ungrateful. You are experiencing a very specific psychological state where connection exists on the surface, but your inner world is operating on a different frequency. Here's why your brain does this. Think of your mind like an operating system that prioritizes depth over bandwidth. Most social environments are optimized for speed. Quick jokes, fast responses, light updates. But your system runs heavier programs. It scans for meaning, emotional safety, authenticity. When the room doesn't provide that, your brain doesn't relax. It stays alert, like a phone stuck in low signal mode, burning energy while trying to connect. This isn't a flaw. It's a protective design. Somewhere along the way, your mind learned that being truly seen matters more than being socially surrounded, so it quietly withdrew when depth wasn't available. And that's why the loneliness shows up even with friends. It's not rejection. It's mismatch. One common profile is what we might call the observer. This is the person who listens more than they speak, who notices tone shifts, micro-expressions, and the emotional weather of the room. While others are talking, the observer is processing. They feel close to people internally, but that closeness doesn't always travel outward. Because they're rarely met at the same depth they operate, they end up feeling like a witness to connection rather than a participant in it. They're not distant because they don't care. They're distant because their awareness runs deeper than most conversations allow. Another profile is the emotional translator. This person feels things intensely but carefully. They often simplify their inner world before sharing it, editing themselves so they don't overwhelm others or disrupt the vibe. Over time, this constant translation creates a gap. People respond to the edited version, not the real one. And when you're liked for a diluted self, loneliness is almost inevitable. The room feels full, but no one is actually touching the core of who you are. The exhaustion doesn't come from socializing. It comes from self-compression. Then there's the self-reliant thinker. This profile learned early that relying on others emotionally was unreliable or unsafe. So they built a strong inner world. They became their own processor, their own comfort system. Friends exist, laughter exists, but vulnerability stays locked behind glass. Not because they don't want closeness, but because independence became their armor. The loneliness here is subtle. It's the quiet realization that no one really knows how much you carry alone, because you've never let them see it. Here's the empowering part most people never tell you. This kind of loneliness is not a sign that something is missing in you. It's a signal that something valuable is being protected. Your mind is wired for depth, truth, and emotional precision. In the right environment, this becomes a rare strength. You connect deeply. You listen fully. You create safety without trying. The problem was never that you feel lonely with friends. The problem was believing that meant you were defective. You don't need more people. You don't need to change your personality. You need fewer connections that go further. And once you stop fighting your wiring, loneliness stops feeling like a flaw and starts feeling like guidance. If you want to understand your mind better, stick around.